Damn, Apollo, you crazy.
And that's why I hold my breath at times where I should speak up. That's why I say my health is bad when you wanna leak up. Cause the stress is hard to hide, but I move with pride and ride for my guys and die. Know that I'm a mess at times, but know that I'm out here trying.
Yeah, I made it out that mud, made it out that dirt. Going harder for my dreams while I'm still on this earth. Had to step into that mosque and step away from church. On my way back to Allah, I know that I deserve. Had to pay up for my sins, lessons that I learned. Had to give and sacrifice before my life was turned. And now I know that 90 bitches made me more than merch. And I keep pushing to the end, even though it hurt. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. Cause when I lost my dog, I thought it was the end. When Trevor lost his life, it was just the beginning. When I see Frankie fall, I couldn't fucking breathe. Look, why'd you take my dogs and leave the pain with me? Cause I've been fighting back these tears, Lord. No longer feel my death, but only feel God. I watched them turn to angels, now they watching over me. That pain will fade away, my only choice is to succeed. With Apollo, I'ma take off to the moon. See my dogs in the sky, I'll be coming home soon. Taking my shot, and now that life is so new. Knew I would make it out doing what I'm supposed to. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out.
Move with pride and ride for my guys and die. Know that I'm a mess at times, but know that I'm out here trying.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing out there? Got some bonus Alex Questa show going on right now.
Bonus
Showing love.
content.
Bonus content. So, showing love to our boy LA Meek over there. We'll be spreading the love between him and Hack No Cap a little bit because if you didn't listen, what was it, last week now? We had Meek on. He came and hung out with us and talked with us, and that's his new song, A Way Out. So go and give it a watch on his music video and things like that. But we are here. It's October 29, 2024. I hope people are coming back from the episode that we just had with Adam Coleman. We had so much fun. He's a great dude. If you missed that, go back and watch it because it's a really good time. And if you are watching here on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, we appreciate all of you. And we love that you are here. If you're watching on X, go give us a follow over there. If you're watching, and repost if you're watching on Facebook, share and repost it over there. Follow us. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, smash the like button. And the biggest way here is spread this word of mouth. I have something like caught in my throat right now. Very professional. Anyway, so don't give me that face, Dave. I hate you. But Dave, you are here. Hi.
I'm here. We just had an awesome show with
I
Adam.
thought I was going to be able to get rid of you after. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, you could have. You just could have told me to skedaddle.
Yeah, but you know what, though? This is a reward for you holding down the fort so well yesterday. I appreciate it.
Oh, no.
I was gallivanting over in Washington State and Oregon. You know, they're not connected. I wasn't, I didn't have a match on me or nothing.
Better not have.
I wasn't torching, ballot boxes. No, I was dying via migraine. I woke up yesterday and I didn't go to work yesterday, and that's rare. Those are my bad migraines. I've had migraines, God, since like 6th grade, but I've figured out a way to just kind of live through them. I played like football games with migraines and practice and things like that. But every once in a while, I just get one that I just can't overcome. And that was yesterday. Every time I got up, was able to get my kids to school. I powered through that. And I didn't have to be to work for another hour after that. So I went home and could not get up after that. And I was like, yep, this is it. And then I went to sleep and didn't wake up again till 2:30 in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. So yeah, it was tough. I tried to rally. I was messaging Dave. I was like, hey, I think I'm going to come on. And then he's like, cool. And I'm like, hey, it's your solo. And you're like, well, you make up your mind.
I know. I expected it.
So
I expected it.
I tried. There was no talking in ovals yesterday either. So anyone that watches that wasn't there. But I will not be here again tomorrow. Right, Dave?
No, you
Dave's going to
won't.
be holding down the fort on his own tomorrow
Mhm.
because I will be, for my other show, Talking in Ovals, I will be at a Legends Gala where my partner in crime over there, Dave Hyatt, and me will be hosting a live stream at that Legends Gala. So if anyone's interested in
Welcome
seeing,
back to you, Nate.
welcome back, Nate. We always appreciate you coming back. So anybody that was there,
Yeah. I forgot to hit this up in the last show that we just did. No, and I want to. Also, I want to hear the Time Dillon story as well as the Tim Dillon story.
do not troll Nate, okay? But yeah, so we'll be there. Preamble real quick since we're already 6 minutes deep. Holy crap, let me take some drink. Flag him. Anyway, professional over here, Dave. Nothing but professional. Epstein client list, we need it out there. All the sick people that did their perverted crap to the kids, to the young ladies. We need to find out there the rich and powerful people that abused all these young girls and things like that. We need to make sure that they're brought to justice. Don't forget the Helene and Milton victims. They are still people we need to keep thinking about. If you could donate $1 to your favorite charity, I promote mercury1.org here, but any of your favorite charities doing work down there, continue to donate what you can, whether it's goods, whether it's money, but keep them in mind. They still are in need. On that note, donate $1 to Moms for Liberty if you can. They're awesome. Tina Deskovich, Tiffany Justice over there. Do what you can to support them, getting a whole bunch of people in school boards, local electors, state electors that are getting woke shit and all the DEI stuff out of our schools. And lastly, we're going to talk about this a little more, but keep early voting. If you haven't volunteered to work in an election poll and you can, keep doing that because it's important and we are seeing really good results from early voting, but we cannot stop now. We have to keep going, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And I was going to do a quick add to that. If you didn't watch the last episode that we just did less than an hour ago, less than 10 minutes ago with Adam Coleman, go watch that and go support XXXY Apparel. Friggin' awesome. They're fighting to keep women's sports for women, girls sports for girls. So go support that as well. I won't talk about it every time, but because we had Adam on, you can. Their stuff's really nice looking. And be brave, take a freaking stand. So
I actually just pulled it up and I started listening to it while Alex was preambling, and we might have to listen to a good amount of this, to be completely honest, Alex, because he starts off saying to say Caitlyn Jenner is a masculine person is an understatement. So we might have to listen. It's 8 minutes, but we might have to listen to a good amount of this story.
So it's an 8-minute story.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
I have up. We can maybe listen to the first two in a little bit.
Maybe we'll do that. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Nate. You are providing. You are a provider for this show. We always appreciate you. All right, Dave, let's jump right into story number 1. Former guest of ours, Ryan James Girdusky, was on CNN. He was on a panel. Now, we've highlighted him being on CNN, being based and just kicking the shit out of them before. But apparently, Dave, he took it too far this time. Let's see what Ryan said so then we can kind of opine here on what happened.
So Ian Howarth puts out this tweet with the video attached. Mehdi Hassan implies Ryan Girdusky is a Nazi, which Hassan does to everyone.
Hassan's a piece of shit, so there is not surprising.
Ryan Girdusky implies Mehdi Hassan is a terrorist. One is forced to leave CNN. Guess which one? And I will also say one of these is actually witty. But
it's hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be called Nazis, stop doing
You're
it.
called an
Stop
anti-Semite more than anyone else at this table.
Yeah.
People will sit there and no, by me. I never called you an anti-Semite. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying I don't.
I'm a supporter of the Palestinians. So I'm used to it.
Yeah, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. The thing is,
you should not.
No,
Did you just say I should be killed?
No, I
You just said I should be
Oh my
killed.
God, taking it to the
Let me-
extreme.
let me-
on live TV.
I said I hope
Guys,
you
let me just stop.
You said you hope my beeper doesn't go off.
Stop real quick.
Well, no, we're not.
Because
The rest of this doesn't
Here's the
matter.
thing.
They're just trying to
Ryan
start
starts
this argument.
apologizing,
Yes.
which is the last thing he should do.
Yeah,
I will say
but
that.
he was caught
Never
up in the
fucking
moment,
apologize.
wants to be a professional, but he shouldn't have apologized.
Oh,
But I
that
get
guy
it when you're
based
caught
as
up in the
fuck.
moment, you want to be a professional.
And
But
here's the bottom line. And here's where we've gone to. And this is why CNN is a laughable joke. And until they could fix this type of shit, they will be a joke. Because it is more okay for them to be anti-Semitic and to call people Nazis, which is saying that you support and want a genocide of people. Let's understand what they are saying when they are calling people fascists and Nazis. They are saying that you are somebody who supports the genocide of other people and want to bring people under your boot.
And in that, it also implies that anything that could be done to that person is a defensive stance.
Yes.
That's
So,
the implication of that.
they are okay with that, but they are not okay with Ryan James Girdusky calling Mehdi Hassan a fucking terrorist like he is a supporter of terrorism. And this is not the first time. It's not just because of the Palestinian people.
No.
That motherfucker has always taken the side
Been really
of
consistent
every
about this,
single
actually.
terrorist group that comes into existence, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, the Taliban, Al Qaeda. It does not matter. This asshole finds a way to defend them somehow. And there's a reason why he's supported by CARES. Okay.
Yes.
If you are supported by CARES, you are a fucking terrorist. So Mehdi Hassan is mad because he got called out on live TV for what he actually is.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you're going to dish it out, you got to fucking take it, dude. And don't be mad because Ryan was actually witty and he made something that made a joke that was actually funny.
Incredible.
And after that, he did get kicked off the show because Mehdi Hassan threw a bitch fit about it and decided that he wouldn't go on if Ryan was still on.
And here's the thing, too. Also, that panel, they can all get fucked. Don't say that. That's not the place. Shut the fuck up, all of you, because it is gang up central on Ryan there anyway.
Yeah.
So they can all absolutely, every single one of them, if you notice, they're a diverse panel with all females, including Mehdi Hassan, who's a fucking woman.
And I think Jesse Kelly tweeted about this a while ago when Ryan had he beat him down another time, either on CNN or MSNBC. But I believe Jesse Kelly said, he tweeted out that he wasn't going to last on these shows because he's too effective, because he's too good at this stuff.
They were looking for the opportunity to kick him off of CNN.
Yeah. And the thing is, look, if Ryan threw that out and, you know, Mehdi never applied someone was a Nazi, if Mehdi was actually professional for once in his goddamn life and Ryan did that out, then you could say that's unprofessional and you could actually be upset about it. But that's not what's happening here. That's not what's happening at all. Mehdi Hassan has consistently been unprofessional, consistently called people Nazis, consistently been on terrorism, on
the side of terrorists.
On the side of terrorism.
Yeah.
So Ryan just threw it back in his face. If you're going to call me a Nazi, I'm going to make a joke about you having a beeper. And it was a good joke.
I'm a supporter of Palestine. Okay, then you're already a fuck. Okay, so let's really talk about this.
Mehdi Hamas is a bitch. Yes.
Being a supporter of Palestine. Okay, listen, if you're a full-on supporter of Israel, whatever, that is still to me, yes, they do ship and we are allies. But, you know, I don't like the true crazy fucking Zionists either. They're insane. But to be a supporter of Palestine, you are actually a fucking asshole. Like, there's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because, yeah, you could differentiate
the thing is,
Palestinian people from Hamas. You can do that.
So Mehdi and a lot of others do this when this topic comes up. Their mot is that, oh, I just support Palestine. I don't actually support, you know, Hamas and those in charge. But the Bailey is that they actually do support all of the actions of those in charge and those that are going against Israel and actually going and just killing Israelis and trying from the river to the sea type of stuff. So it's a Mott and Bailey tactic that he's actually utilizing there. It's like, oh, no, I'm just for Palestinians. No, you're not. We all know you're not. You have shown your ass too many times on this topic for you to go and claim this.
There are people that are anti-American. Mehdi Hamas is one of those people that Mehdi Hassan. Sorry, I read Nate's thing.
No, it's fine. No, it works. It works. Everyone knows.
But Mehdi Hassan is one of those people that is consistently in this way. And Ryan was absolutely correct to call him out on his bullshit.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
And it was hilarious. And if that's the way he's never on CNN again, it's a great way to go out.
Ryan,
you finally brought entertainment to CNN, something that they've been fucking looking for since they started CNN Plus, which no one talks about. A horrible fail of that
Fucking failure. Chris Wallace was their bell cow, okay? So let's talk about that. A fucking douchebag is his bell cow. So I am going to say real quick before we play this, I have almost never been more proud to call someone a guest than Ryan James Girdusky, okay? That was fucking awesome. All right, let's go ahead.
And going into that show, I decided, so what happens is if you don't do cable news, the producers text you all the topics a few hours in advance, and they could range from things you know a lot about, things you don't know anything about. So one of the topics that they just changed, they're going to do 2 segments on the Trump rally because obviously it's the most important thing in the world. They actually scrubbed something about like war to cover, the show, the comedian Phil Tony. So then we were going on to do a segment at the end with Brian Stelter about trust and accuracy in the media. And I just about lost it. And I was like, here's what I'm going to do. This is what I said to myself going into the show. I'm going to tell him, you are fake news. You destroy accuracy in the media. You destroy trust in the media. And you owe everyone on CNN an apology for Russia, for Russiagate, for COVID, for the Stormy Daniels lawyer. I said, this is my last episode because they're never going to have me back after I do what I'm going to do. This was just a throwaway line because what happened was I got on set. The woman sitting next to me, who was also outraged, and I wasn't even speaking to her, she was making comments of white man humor the whole run into the show. And I was like, and we're just it just freaking irked me. I'm like, I would never say opposite racial things like that, but if I did, I wouldn't even make it to the show open. But it was just the double standard. Then I said on the show that people in the media said that everyone who attended the Trump rally was a Nazi. Abby said that wasn't true. Totally true. Which, by the way, Abby has falsely corrected me on air for things I said it was true. She said I made up the word, the Ferguson effect, which
I know
very clearly, even though she wrote about it 10 years ago.
Right.
So anyway, I did the thing. It was a throwaway line. We go to commercial. Mehdi throws his mic on the table, storms out of the place. I'm not going to be on with him. Abby is like, can you please step aside? Because Allison was like, he needs to leave. And I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to embarrass. I hope you don't get in trouble with corporate. I told the producer, I hope you don't get in trouble with corporate. I didn't mean to do anything to harm you. Because they've always been very lovely to me, and I'm a professional. And that was that. And I was like, okay, cool. And then, you would have thought I'm responsible for the Hindenburg disaster, the way that people are responding to it. I'm like, calm the freaking hell down. I said to somebody who...
And real quick, not only did they kick him off the show, but when they came back on, I should have pulled the clip up. I didn't. But when they came back on after the break, the woman that he's talking about that was leading the show apologized for what happened. So it was just a full-on struggle session kind of thing on Ryan over here.
Because we talked about grown children. They are grown.
I can't stand Mehdi on Piers.
Children.
To be fair, I also don't like Piers. One, because his name is stupid. It should be Pierce, at least. Come on. What are you doing? And also, I don't know. He wears on me. There's sometimes where he's fine.
Piers Morgan sucks.
There's sometimes where he's fine and he's actually pretty good. But most of the times, it's like, eh.
He's a say what I need to say type of guy.
Well, I think one of my favorite ways I've heard Piers, someone talk about Piers Morgan is Callum, who's recently from Lotus Eaters, now doing his own thing, Britannica.
Yep.
Talks about how Piers Morgan decided to go off and do his own show, and then all of his set just says his fucking name everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. you're forgetting where you were.
His name sometimes.
Yeah. Let's finish.
I like that he's having great people on now.
He is having great people on now.
And he needs to because he can't substantiate it on his own.
Yeah, well, that's fine
one of
though.
the main reasons.
That's fine though, because he's having Gary on Nerdrotic, he's having Critical Drinker on, just had Jeremy on for the cultural stuff. He always has Esther Cacao on, and she's fucking awesome.
And the thing is, it's honestly, he's trying to get back into good graces because he was a dickhead to Trump for a little, and he pissed off the people that were going to support him anyway. To be quite honest, and
he's still him, and weirdly, there's times where he just seems like he's actually saying what he means, and there's times where he seems like he's just trying to get in on other areas. Morgan's a weird cat.
He's a very weird cat.
Yeah, I heard about that. He just had Russo, Maven, and Coachman on to scream at Phil Mushnick. Didn't he surprise?
Did he really?
Didn't he drop Mushnick as a surprise when they were already on? Didn't he bring him in after they're already talking a bit? Which is amazing. I fucking love that. Yeah, he's good for some stuff. He is good for some stuff.
Listen, he knows what's going to get clicks at this point, and I think that's what he's looking for.
Why not?
Why
Why
not?
wouldn't you?
Why not?
So we'll finish this off.
Yeah, let's finish it up there.
By the way, always sits there and stands up for terrorists, or sits there and stands up and kowtows to terrorists that and terrorist funding countries that they are that their beef doesn't blow up. It's a joke, whatever. Like, grow a pair. Like, I don't know. I'm a man. If you sit there and make a joke at my expense and then you apologize if I'm really offended, whatever, I'm over it in 30 seconds.
Right.
I'm not gonna go storm off and act like what.
Many things you could have said there.
Honestly, we would love to have Ryan back on at some point. Maybe since he's not going to be prepping for CNN in the morning anymore, he might be a little more willing to jump on.
We should start doing censored episodes, but the censor is him saying beeper.
Oh my God. So Ryan's awesome. That joke was based as fuck.
He's been killing it on every single
God.
corporate media that he's going on. Hopefully some of them have him back. He might be outlawed now after that.
I mean, he might just be just exiled into the right-leaning media. Yeah, we had Ryan on. Let me see sorry about that, Dave.
We're both trying to pull it up.
Stop it, Dave. You pull it up.
Yes, but we have had him on. It's an old episode.
I will
when we were
research.
recording.
I'll let you
instead of
know
going
in a
live.
second. So
Yeah.
Dave, you keep talking about things.
Yeah, we actually had him on during the primaries, if I remember correctly, and he was for DeSantis. He actually gave us a lot of good info.
It was great.
It was a great episode.
He's a Politico through and through as well.
Yeah.
So he's very in touch with all that stuff.
And he's a New York boy, so he's ready to throw down verbally at any time. And like he showed on that CNN segment, and like he showed in multiple other segments in corporate media. But yeah, it's unfortunate he might be outlawed for this, especially because it was witty. It was actually entertainment. CNN can't fucking do that.
Absolutely.
So why would you get rid of someone like that?
We had him on August 25th, 2023. It was episode number 91. That's when we had him on. So if you want to go back and listen to that, it was fantastic.
Figured Tim Pool is salivating to pick him up. Yeah, dude. If you can, I would. You kidding me? Like anyone really?
That he would absolutely add to that panel. If he became a regular on the Tim Pool panel,
and he'd probably do work on apparently some of Tim's employees and complaints about
Ryan would absolutely do his job and would not be a thorn in Tim's side. I could tell you that much. He will not be that dead weight that Tim has to carry around. Anyway, Ryan's based as shit. But let's go on to our next quick topic here. A little bit on early voting. It looks like Kamala is already pulling out of a state. And
it's rumored. It's rumored, but it looks like she's moving.
Listen, if it quacks like a duck and it looks like a duck, it probably is a duck. So Kamala's canceling her ad buys and moving staff and resources to Virginia. And she's canceling her ad buys in North Carolina, where Republicans have held a consistent lead in early voting. And that's big because North Carolina is an important state. And everyone knows Trump had to have it. So it's a big deal that she's pulling. Now, obviously, Virginia's become a big battleground. But I also saw, we don't have something for this, Dave, but I also saw that according to the numbers now, it is impossible for the Democrats to get their 500,000 early voting firewall in Pennsylvania. There have been enough Republicans that have come out to stop them. So this is just a part of my thing in the beginning that there is a lot of good going on in early voting right now. So we need to keep pushing right now.
Yeah. And I think that this little just Excel spreadsheet thing that Elon shared actually shows more than the other thing showed, because I had other at like 30-some%. I don't know exactly what's going on with those vote totals in the other tweet that we had, but showing just the exact amounts and the difference this year. Right now, 7 days before the election, Republicans are actually up 24K. 2020, they were down 314 in North Carolina. So a lot could be said. Maybe Republicans are voting differently this year. I don't know. It could be a reason why this is happening, where she catches up, but it's not looking good for Kamala. And if they're going off tradition and she leaves North Carolina to try to shore up Virginia, to try to make sure they can get Virginia, I could see it happening, because Virginia is one like there. You can't lose these states by just when you're already down. Like you gotta decide whether you're gonna shit or get off the pot on some of these states.
Yeah.
If it looks like you're losing North Carolina, you got to move somewhere else. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right now, the numbers are breaking depending on what you're looking for. The numbers are breaking both ways. If you want to look at it positively for Harris, you can find a lot of positive shit for Harris.
Yeah.
If you want to look at positively for Trump, you can find a lot of positive for Trump. The only difference this time is that there is positive for Trump in early voting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big difference because before it was manufactured, right? It was trying to be positive. It was this and that. Now there are legitimate numbers backing up that there is enthusiasm and positivity in early voting right now. Now, if it doesn't continue, if it doesn't carry over into election day, none of it matters. But it is important that it is going on. So didn't really have much to say besides that, just to give that blurb. But yeah, we have some more interesting shit coming up.
Well, yeah, more, of course, the election coming up. But I figured, you know what? Let's jump into the Tim Dillon story. Let's jump into 2 minutes of this.
Jesus.
Because I actually do want to hear it. Like I said, the first 5 seconds, first 10 seconds, you'll be like, yeah, I understand why we need to listen to some of this.
Right. Caitlyn Jenner came to I had a Friendsgiving, okay? And I'll say this, and I don't know if this reaches Caitlyn, and if it does, God bless. But to say that Caitlyn is a masculine person would be maybe the understatement of the year. Caitlyn walks in the house. First of all,
wait, Caitlyn Jenner came to yours?
She comes with her girlfriend. Her girlfriend is a trans.
Wait, to your Thanksgiving?
Yeah, my Thanksgiving. Friendsgiving. I invited you to, but no one's in LA. Everyone, I get it.
Damn, you could have told me.
Well, that's why I want you to come.
You could have told me they were coming. I would have been there.
This is great. So she comes with her girlfriend. Her girlfriend is a trans MAGA influencer. Okay, so this is my dream. This is perfect for me. This is all I want. The whole party, everyone else. I love Andrew Santino and everybody, but it's about this.
Yeah.
It wasn't about
this. For sure.
So she walks in, by the way, like 15 minutes after the supposed it starts. No one's there yet. There's like 3 weird people that I barely know. And then Caitlyn Jenner walks in. She walks in, she's like 6'4", built like a brick shit house, walks in. She's, a specimen, right? She walks in, she shakes my hand. I go, "You're really punctual." She goes, "And I taught my kids how to be punctual too. They're all punctual." And it's like the most dad thing to say ever. And then she like shakes my hand. I'm like, yeah. So like, we give her a drink and like, you just like, then like more people start to come. Maybe there's like 20 people there now. And then she's just talking about how no one's patriotic anymore in America.
Awesome.
And how so she's standing in the middle of my kitchen showing people pictures of her plane and going, "Nobody's patriotic anymore. When I won those gold medals," she goes, "people were cheering for me, but they were also cheering for America. Yeah. Nobody's fucking patriot." And then she's surrounded by LA godless scum, who have to swallow this message. And like some of them are agreeing. And her trans MAGA influencer girlfriend starts going like, has kind of a low voice, but she's like, she goes, "Well," she goes,
kind of a low voice.
"Well," she goes, "Well, I think that one of the real problems with this country is that nobody appreciates it for how good it is." And I'm like, yeah, and we're just rah, and it's just it's the craziest.
I don't know if we can come up with
moment.
I like.
This is incredible. Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You did have LA people there that had to be like, they're famous. I have to listen to what they're saying.
You have to listen to what they
Not
say.
only
Yeah.
You have to listen to what they say.
I mean, that's
funny.
a powerful couple.
That's, by the way,
Trans MAGA.
it's
Awesome.
the best couple.
Got the shivers.
It's my favorite couple in LA. Nobody,
Pause it real quick. I did some
nobody does it
research.
better.
Apparently, his girlfriend is Sophia Hutchins, who I've heard of.
I don't know who that is, but it makes sense.
240,000 fucking followers on Instagram says that as an influential trans person.
And no one can say shit to them.
Who the fuck is going to say anything? Number one, you'll offend them. Number two, they'll beat your fucking ass.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're 21, apparently, this person.
Wow.
So continue.
Then those two.
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's awesome.
I love them both, and I want to get dinner with them, and I want to be part, whatever that is, like that whole trans MAGA.
Oh yeah,
I have my own plane movement.
dude,
Get me into that.
you're doing like Gonzo journalism. You're like ingratiating yourself with the freaks.
Well, it's just a fun. It's a fun. When you hear just you see these two women. And then they're talking and they're going, the problem with America is no one's patriotic. It's really beautiful. It's like a beautiful,
Yeah, it is.
you know.
It is like a bunch of things just
That's the higher
coalescing.
level,
Just
then.
coalescing into
It's
one.
a high
Black MAGA gets me fired up. Trans
True.
MAGA might be
Fuck, trans MAGA.
That's the
Fuck.
peak.
That's a top. It's a top you're gonna get.
Yeah, I'll pass out if I watch enough
If I
trans
saw
MAGA. I just fucking lose consciousness.
Here's how strong MAGA is. This is what I think about trans
Like
MAGA,
going
which
through
is great.
fucking G-force in a simulator.
You're stuck to the couch.
Oh my
It's so powerful.
God.
It shows MAGA is so powerful that like it won't be stopped.
Yeah.
Can't be stopped.
Dude, get into MAGA
It
rappers.
will eventually reach everyone. That's what's great about it. It's just reaching. There will be non-binary MAGA eventually. Like you'll just see a fat, like non-conforming weirdo with blue hair, and then they'll just put on that hat. It's just like, oh, it's
like a
it
field,
gets it's like
an
COVID.
aura.
It's like
God,
you'll get it. You're gonna get it. Yeah, you don't have to worry about how you're gonna get it. You don't have to analyze it. You're
we
gonna
can
get
solve
You can
it.
tell everyone it's
That's
fake.
fucking tastic. If anyone wants to go watch the rest of, I'm definitely going to go watch the rest of it later. But that's really good. That's incredible. I don't know what would you do?
Trans MAGA is a force.
Trans MAGA is a fucking force. What would you do if like in that situation again, Los Angeles, bunch of godless animals hanging out there?
What if you're like if you're ideology, you can't say shit. You can't say anything. You're just in it at that point. You're on Mr. Bones' wild ride, and you can't get off.
I
That's his
wonder if
choice.
they deny Caitlyn Jenner on CNN and MSNBC.
Probably.
I
I
would
don't
make
know.
that fucking.
I don't
well
watch
known
it.
if I'm them.
So I don't watch it, so I
That's
don't
true.
know. But
I know Caitlin's on Fox News a good amount,
yeah.
but
Oh man.
I mean,
that's fucking funny.
that is a weapon that the conservatives need to use more. Like, what are
I
we doing?
taught my kids to be punctual too.
The most dad thing ever.
It's also one of the most man things ever to have a 21-year-old girlfriend.
But is it if it's a boy?
Yeah, still. Yes, still. That still is.
Oh my
It
God.
is a timeless story.
Timeless story.
Non-binary
Thank
mag
you,
is
Nate.
coming soon.
Nate, thank you so much for bringing that to our
Jesus.
attention. Let's go into some quick gaming stuff, Dave.
Well,
Kind
see
of.
how quick it is.
Kind of quick.
So it happened recently.
My voice
Mastered.
sucked. What is
What?
going on my voice right now?
I
It
don't know.
sucks.
That's fine. It happened recently. MasterOfTheTDS on Twitter unearthed some Kim Belair Sweet Baby Ink stuff that was shared around. If you've seen Bowser around on your Twitter, that's a part of it. But we're actually not going to start with MasterOfTDS. We're going to start with Madam Savvy here because she says something good.
And Sav is amazing. Sav, if
Yes,
you haven't
that's
not
great.
following Madam Savvy, you're out of your mind. She's one of the best follows on the internet.
She does autistic deep dives that people don't want to do, and she does it
She
well with
just
them.
asks fucking questions.
Yes.
Good ones.
But it was unearthed that Kim Belair and another Sweet Baby and co-founder right here did multiple podcasts, one of them being the Sexiest Podcast. Another one, funny enough, they tried a wrestling podcast, Alex.
What?
They said every pay-per-view or premium live event now, every single one of those we're going to do a podcast on. They only did 2. They only got through 2 before realizing that no one's going to fucking listen to them. But yeah, I guess they like wrestling. No, these people are grifters, and you could tell because they were trying every single avenue to make it until they found gaming. But nevertheless, Savvy says, I find it interesting someone so against digital art being attractive would try to use sex appeal as a means of selling a sex-obsessed podcast that brings on other sex-obsessed losers to discuss sex. This is who is trying to be a moral authority in gaming and fiction. Give me a break, Kim. Give me an actual break. And like, this is Kim Belair and the other co-founder. We're back in our latest episode. We're talking sex, dating, and weird bedroom fears. listen to Is This Fine in their SoundCloud. And apparently they actually got rid of a lot of them. We actually went back to being live, Matt. We're not still live. This is another episode.
Yep, we jump back in.
Yeah. But they got rid of a lot of their, apparently they made around 60 of these episodes.
Jesus.
But apparently there's only 4 left. Savvy's only listened to 4 of them. And I actually want to go down. Oh, wait, never mind. Hold up. I do want to go down real quick. There's a lot going on here.
Savvy does things.
Yeah. I messed it up. I don't know where it is.
I fucked it up.
But there is like posts and collages of the things they were talking about. And one of the it's not called, it's, yeah, you can say X. It's also called Twitter. You could call it both. But one of the things that they talked about on the Sexiest podcast is Smash Brothers. And who is the sexiest Smash Brothers character? And that's what the general vibe of this was. In fact, they talked about the sexiest cartoon dogs when Kim Belair's brother came onto the show. It was a real family affair for that one. So we're actually going to let Master of the TDS talk about this because they put up a little clip, and I believe they have more of a video on this. And he also did a stream with Smash JT going over all of this.
Which Smash JT is fucking reveling in all the shit going on right now with everything he's been put through with Sweet Baby Inc. and Alyssa Mercanti and things like that.
So they actually they figured out the age of Sheik to determine whether or not Sheik could be called sexy on that podcast, apparently. But Kim Belair has a love for Bowser, and I don't know how much. I haven't watched this video. I don't know how much they go into it. So
let's go for it. It's only 48 seconds. So
yes,
honey, would you like to read what the description of the Sexiest podcast is?
Sure, and also you can find audio of this on SoundCloud.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
The Sexiest Podcast is a weekly ranking of the sexiest everything. Join hosts Kim Belair and Ari McGillivray and their guests as they delve into topics ranging from movie monsters and sea creatures to emoji and ice cream to finally determine what really is the sexiest. New episodes every Wednesday.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
So that is just a small part of their video that they talk about this on. And you could see what this podcast was about. I haven't listened to it. I'm not going to listen to it.
No shot.
I have heard
still exists.
I have heard that is incredibly boring. Like they're not even entertaining when talking about this. And not even that. It's not even a bit. It's not a bit. Like Kim Belair goes into her love of Bowser and she talks about whether or not he has a mammalian penis or a turtle penis. And she'd be fine with either one of them.
So what's it named? The Sexiest Podcast?
The Sexiest Podcast.
I can't even find it. I think they took it down.
You'll have to go to TDS or Savvy. They'll have it.
Well, I'm just seeing if it's on Spotify or anything like that.
But it's being memed around right here. And this is the person that is trying to grandstand, that is trying to tell you all about what you shouldn't find good in video games. The fact that you shouldn't have females that actually look like women in video games. The fact that this is actually my favorite one right here. Bowser as a Sweet Baby Yank logo.
Yeah, that one's incredible. Not gonna lie.
But there's much more on that. I'm not going to delve deep into every gross degenerate thing that she likes. But
there are some autists on YouTube that are willing to do that if you would like that.
Yes. But this is what these people are into. And then they tell you that you're wrong for saying that women look good and saying that we want good looking women in video games. We don't want these incredibly masculine jawlines and broad shoulders on what are now told to us are women in video games.
So I did find the Sexiest Podcast, and unfortunate for them, they still have the Sexiest Smash Bro up there and Sexiest X-Men.
No, so that's how they know about what they're talking about, her liking Bowser, because
that
is up there.
Non-human mammal. What the fuck? Hold on, I gotta. The fuck is wrong with these people,
dude? It's incredible. It is actually incredible.
Like, how did you think this was a good idea? So right here, episode 59, the sexiest non-human mammal, the sexiest X-Man on 58.
They look like men. They look like men, or they're very ambiguous.
The sexiest Smash Bro, and the sexiest podcast 2.0, and they have it under comedy.
Turtle Peen Boomer Doom.
I mean, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
A lot.
Honestly.
And it bears out in how they go about doing the things they do. And there is actually a huge web of how they got into gaming and all their moral authority that they try that they try to drive into everyone through gaming and what they think gaming should be. Oh, another fun fact about that Smash Bros. One, Kim Belair obviously has a love of Bowser. Her co-host didn't know who Bowser was. She asked, "Who's Bowser?" She's involved in gaming now.
Wait, that other chick, Ari McGively, whatever the fuck, she's involved in gaming.
She's a co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc.
Wait, she's one of the, oh, they're both, they are the co-founders?
Well, there's
I didn't
three
know
of them.
the other
There's
chick
three
was
of them, and she's one of them. Well, there are two of them, I should say. Yes.
Wild.
Yes. It is actually a really large web, and it is really interesting. We're not going to go into that. I just want to talk about how she wants Bowser's penis.
You know what? Give them props for sticking to the grift, trying to find their grift and stick with it. They obviously went to a
I'm
bunch
not going to
of
give them
failures.
props. They're ruining games.
Give them props. They never stuck with it. They did not want to do real work. So they were trying to figure out the best way to be fuckheads, to grift and to make it. And they figured out that just by using DEI and woke bullshit, you can grift and be a fuckhead and make it. So you know what? Kudos for something, but you suck. Go away. Go away.
A great leak from MasterOfTheTDS. He does great work. He did great work with bots earlier in the year. He does great work with a lot of stuff. So he's a good follow on Twitter.
Yes.
Finally, we are going to delve into our horror topic.
Yep.
Of the night, and we're going to delve in my favorite horror movie. This is a Slate article, The Parable of the Chainsaw. There's only like 4 paragraphs that I actually like in this article. The rest are whatever. But Texas Chainsaw is my favorite horror movie. And this article mainly talks about how it's so effective, especially because of when it came out and all the things that were happening. Ted Bundy was a thing.
Yep.
And so were other serial killers. So I'm actually just going to read off a good amount of this because like I said, I like these 4 paragraphs a lot.
That's it.
So in the midst of all this, all the turmoil in America at the time, movie about innocent people being killed indiscriminately with lumber machinery functioned as a kind of primal scream. Then they recap what actually happens in Texas Chainsaw Massacre right here. But the reason the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which has generated a whopping 8 sequels and spin-off films, has lingered in our cultural consciousness for 50 years now, has little to do with the mechanics of what happens on screen. It sticks with us because of how vividly it captured the hysterical unreality of living in a turbulent age and how it picked at the scabs crusting over the face of the American dream. Hooper's expressed intent was to create a movie more about feeling than story, one that would get under viewers' skin and follow them home. And he just did that. He did that fucking perfectly.
Texas Chainsaw is incredible.
Tobe Hooper did an incredible job with that movie, an amazing job. But just from the beginning, the sound effect, the camera shutter sound effect, which is used everywhere now.
Yep.
The corpse that you see on the gravestone, a very good way to start that movie. And weirdly enough, and how crazy it gets with the Sawyer family, it still feels realistic. And it's weird that you could get that feeling from that movie when, like, the dinner scene, none of it makes sense. Like a man that's in death's door, like only his foot sticking out, maybe his pinky toe is still in fucking reality, and they're trying to get this guy to hold a hammer and kill Sally Hardesty. And so that happening, and it's still gripping you and giving you the realism of that movie is really impressive from Tobe Hooper.
I mean, and it's still a movie that there's a lot of imitations of things that they did in that movie that you see in horror.
Yes.
It is a horror pillar.
Yes.
It is a pillar in the horror genre. And the issue is most people can't do it well anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. But you could see a lot of elements in horror today that come from Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah. And I'm actually just going to read off the last paragraph right here.
Go for it.
Little Farm, The Honest Job, The Family Dinner. The film takes these comforting symbols and paints them with blood. If the promise of America is a pretty white farmhouse, Hooper's camera directed viewers to the dry rot in the walls and bodies in the cellar. 50 years later, as we sit at another inflection point in our nation's history, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre can still offer us a way to understand the dynamics of this moment and possibly the next. And you can feel whatever about that paragraph, but I do want to point to, just like we were talking about, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre puts you in the moment. It gives no solace in the fact that just like the Hardesties and everyone that was with them in that van trying to just go and have a trip, you can find yourself in that type of issue, in that type of conflict.
Yep.
Where you never wanted to be in. You were being nice. You picked up a hitchhiker. That hitchhiker is fucking crazy. You kick him out, and then that hitchhiker is one that's trying to kill you at the end of the movie. And while so up in the air, while so imaginative, it's something that everyone felt like could actually happen to them.
100%.
Yeah.
It's wild, and it's still a masterpiece to this day. And still just, these great horror movies are also considered just great movies.
Yeah.
And Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of those that, if you sit there and even to this day, you can know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And still watch it and be scared.
One of my favorite scenes is the first kill, actually, when Leatherface just pops up, immediately drops the hammer on that guy.
Yep.
And then closing the door. That's a famous scene of him closing the door, and how realistic it is. It's a split-second kill.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing too over the top of
Nothing
it.
too over the top. It doesn't hang around. Doesn't make it seem like it's anything extra. It's just boom, and I'm on my day.
Yeah, and that's what, and yet again, adds to the weird realism of it.
Yeah.
Of just how quick someone could just be immediately knocked off.
Well, if you're a serial killer too, that adds to that realness that the serial killer is going to just go about their day when they do it. It's something that seemingly a serial killer will do now. We've learned about like patterns of serial killers and things like that, like they collect trophies. But back at the time, especially when there weren't, like I said, Ted Bundy was being popular and they were still really learning about serial killers, to see one act in a way that would be like the boogeyman for people, where they would sit there, and if you're imagining what a serial killer would be, Leatherface certainly fits that mold. So yeah, it's really good. I've always liked Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and there's a reason why it has had so many spin-offs, and a few of them that were good. A few of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres have been pretty.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is fantastic as well. It's just a
Yeah.
very different movie. It's a comedy horror.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy way to take it, but it still landed.
But it's still good.
Yeah.
And again, like some of the spin-offs, like I think it was back in like 2012 or 2013, they did one that was pretty fucking good. They've
Rob
done some good
Zombie
ones.
did a couple.
Rob Zombie's horror is usually pretty
I
good.
think his was just called Leatherface, so I may be
I
incorrect.
think so, but I'm pretty sure they did a remake in the early like 2010s. So don't get me. And it was actually pretty damn good. Like it held up. It wasn't like a remake that tried to like reinvent the wheel. They just basically modernized it.
Yep.
Gave it some new stuff, and they made like they respected the original movie enough that it was a good horror movie. So
and this movie in particular, while it probably falls under a slasher genre, it wasn't like Leatherface wasn't like other slasher villains.
No.
Leatherface wasn't a particularly evil person. Leatherface was just doing what his family wanted him to do. He was a big guy, most likely mentally handicapped, didn't understand much, but he's big and strong, and he could make the meat, and that's what he could do. So him as this big hulking villain that's going to be chasing you, while the other family either deceives you or finds ways to try to kill it, like it all comes together and makes it feel like this really unavoidable situation, and it just grabs you at that point.
yeah, it's very good. It's a masterpiece in a lot of ways, in the way that it's done. I don't think it's like shy to say that it's a masterpiece or off to say that, but in terms of being your favorite horror movie, I think it's a good pick for you, Dave.
Yeah.
I appreciate the pick. I don't appreciate much that you do, but
you shouldn't.
But that's a good choice. But I think on that note, we are going to
Fuck out!
and we're gonna get out of here, Dave. It's a truncated version. It comes after the episode. My voice is fucked, so I don't know what's going on here. So I want to get out of here in that sense because it's not a good time right now.
Mhm.
So, Dave, do you have anything else before we jump out of here?
No, that's about it. Just a shorter version. We had a long podcast with Adam Coleman. It was a great one. Go listen to it.
Definitely.
If you haven't.
All right. Everyone that watched, we appreciate it. If you're on X, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are, we appreciate you. Go give us a like, share, follow, everything on all that good jazz. We'll be back. Dave will be back solo tomorrow night.
Yes.
I will be on doing the gala for Talking an Oval. So if you're interested in seeing some track legends and me and my partner Dave Hyatt over there talking to track legends at a live gala, go tune into the Talking an Ovals YouTube. If not, after that, not too long, Dave will jump on and he'll be doing it for here and chit-chatting about all the fun shit. And outside of that, we appreciate everyone that watched. So have a good night.